Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Hồng Nhung from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc begins state visit to the Republic of Korea. Top legislator receives New Zealand business leaders. And later on, fishery exports exceed $10 billion in 11 months.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc pays a state visit to the Republic of Korea from December 4 to 7th. More details in the following report.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and a high-ranking delegation of Vietnam arrived in Seoul on December 4th afternoon, local time, beginning a state visit to the Republic of Korea. Phuk's visit is made at the invitation of Republic of Korea President Yoon Suk Yeol. President Phúc and his entourage were welcomed at Seoul Military Airport by the Republic of Korea Foreign Minister Park Jin, the Republic of Korea Ambassador to Vietnam Oh Jong-ju, and other officers of the Republic of Korea, along with Ambassador Nguyễn Vũ Tùng and the staff of the Vietnamese Embassy in the Republic of Korea, and representatives of the Vietnamese community in the country. President Phúc is the first foreign senior leader to pay a state visit to the Republic of Korea since President Yoon took office. The visit takes place at a time when the two countries are celebrating the 30th anniversary of diplomatic ties and entering a pivotal period to carry out their own development strategies, especially following the COVID-19 pandemic. It is expected to usher in a new chapter in bilateral ties.
Coming up now, we report on activity by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on December 4th made field trips to key infrastructure projects in Bạc Liêu as part of his working visit to the Mekong Delta province. The Prime Minister visited the 110 kilometers Cần Thơ Cà Mau Expressway, which has a total investment of about $1.12 billion and runs through 5 localities, including Bạc Liêu. Chính asked the Ministry of Transport and the Project Management Board to speed up preparations for the implementation of the project. The leader also visited a wind power project and had a working session with renewable energy investors in Bạc Liêu. Chính affirmed that Vietnam has adopted mechanisms facilitating wind power development. He also urged reviewing investment in renewable energy, especially wind power, to ensure the harmony of interests between investors, the state and people. On the same day, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính had a working session with key leaders of Bạc Liêu province. The Prime Minister frankly pointed out the shortcomings that Bạc Liêu needs to overcome, and at the same time suggested a number of tasks and solutions that the province should implement to achieve green and sustainable development. According to the government leader, Bạc Liêu needs to continue to develop the renewable energy industry, promote the processing industry associated with key agricultural products, and develop high-quality tourism associated with local cultural and historical traditions, among others. He also asked Bạc Liêu to have solutions to solve difficulties facing the provincial health sector and businesses, and at the same time ensure enough supplies of goods to serve people, especially during the upcoming Lunar New Year.
National Assembly Chairman William Huệ is in New Zealand for an official visit. We joined the top legislative leader to see how his trip is processing.
On December 4th, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ received leaders of New Zealand communities in Auckland as part of his ongoing official visit to the country. Hosting Mike Cronin, Managing Director of Cooperative Affairs at Frontiera, Chairman Huệ suggested the group study to expand cooperation and investment in Vietnam. Appreciating Vietnam's investment attraction policies, Cronin said he would work with the group's leaders to study Hue's suggestions on expanding cooperation and investment. At his meeting with Faisal Investment Group CEO John Faisal and Director of Viet River Holdings Limited Nguyễn Trường Khoa, the top legislator welcomed businesses that have joined many networking activities between Vietnamese and New Zealand firms and directly invested in Vietnam. where it recommended the businesses to propose to New Zealand government so that the two governments will soon sign an agreement on labour cooperation, creating a solid legal framework for this field. On the same day, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ also hosted Don Ha, CEO of Remax, which is one of the major U.S. real estate companies operating through the franchise system and is currently present in more than 110 countries and territories. At the meeting, he expressed his support for the company's plan to import products of Vietnamese origin, serving the opening of a sales center and supermarket of household appliances in New Zealand. Meanwhile, received by the National Assembly leader, Vietech Angie's representative made proposals on connecting Vietnamese and New Zealand companies and their IT personnel. Taking into account these proposals, we affirm that the Vietnamese Party, State and National Assembly always supports and create favorable conditions for the overseas Vietnamese community.
Fishery exports earned in $10.14 billion as of November this year, up 27% annually, according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Of the above sum, crayfish and shrimps contributed $2.2 billion and $4.1, up nearly 62% and 15% year-on-year, respectively. Crayfish's sharp increase was thanks to the strongest annual surge in the product's average price, at 50%. Exporters have also seized an opportunity to increase their market share, created by the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which limits the supply of whitefish. Overall, shrimp export turnover has retained good growth so far, thanks to strong rises recorded in the first half of the year. However, the product's average export price did not increase as strongly as crayfish, as it faced significant competitive pressure from those of Ecuador and India. Tuna exports, notably, were said to certainly rake in $1 billion this year, marking a new record, according to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers. Vietnam's fishery export has completely recovered after the COVID-19 pandemic, and the export value is projected to hit $11 billion this year.
Vietnam's export turnover to Germany enjoyed a year-on-year surge of 30.5% to $7.6 billion in the first 10 months of this year, according to the Ministry of Industry and Trade.
Meanwhile, the import value was nearly $3 billion, a slight decrease compared to the same period last year. In the period, two-way trade reached nearly $10.6 billion, up nearly 18% year-on-year. Vietnam mainly shipped machinery, component parts, automobile, footwear, garment textiles, coffee, and aquatic products to Germany, while importing machines, component parts, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and automobile spare parts to the European country. Germany is currently Vietnam's biggest trade partners in Europe, accounting for 20% of the Southeast Asian countries' total trade values to the EU. For Germany, Vietnam is a potential market and an important partner, especially in the context that the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement proves effective after the over 2 years implementation.
Da Nang City is a famous destination because of its friendly people, beautiful landscapes, and unique traditional cuisine that has been preserved and promoted in many different ways. With the theme Da Nang Cuisine, Taste and Memories, the Da Nang Cultural Heritage Festival 2022 was held at the Da Nang Museum and featured a wide range of attractive activities on traditional culinary culture. Visitors had the opportunity to experience traditional dishes from Da Nang, including Nam O fish sauce, Tuy Loan rice paper, and Quang noodles. They can also see how Da Nang specialties are created.
Cang noodles and banh bia were part of my childhood, so I am touched to bring my grandchildren here to experience making the traditional dishes.
I experienced making fish sauce and cutting noodles. I feel quite happy and have learned a lot so I can help my parents.
Festival goers scanned more 68 photos on the city's cuisine at a photo exhibition with the theme Da Nang food. The exhibition featured three main themes, from Da Nang's cultural and culinary space now and then, the beauty of Da Nang's cuisine culture, and Da Nang dishes. The exhibition helped residents and visitors understand more about activities relating to Da Nang's culinary culture through new perspectives.
Experiential activities that interact with the public will help them better understand the heritage.
With creative organization, the festival contributes to inspiring a love for culinary culture in the community, especially among young people. Ho Chi Minh City is focusing on developing food streets to help tourists find it easier to experience and enjoy Vietnamese cuisine during their stay in the city.
At present, Ho Chi Minh City's districts have orientations to develop nightlife tourism and economy, including the opening of more food and pedestrian streets. According to a plan submitted by the Department of Transport to the Municipal People's Committee in July, from now to 2025, there will be 22 more pedestrian streets in the downtown city. These streets are expected to contribute to improving the attractiveness, promoting tourism, trade and service activities in the central area, where many historical monuments, scenic spots, and unique culture and architectural works are located. Ho Chi Minh City has topped the list of destinations, with the highest number of tourists in the year to date. The city has received over 23 million visitors, including 2.1 million foreign arrivals.
As part of efforts to develop and promote Sầm singing, Ninh Bình province has focused over the years on preserving the cultural values that the folk arts possesses.
Ninh Bình is a cradle of Sầm singing, attached to late artisan Ha Thi Go, the last Sầm singer in the 20th century. The province has preserved more than 10 Sầm melodies expressing emotion and nuance. To promote the art form in a sustainable manner, Ninh Bình has been carrying out the restoring, preserving and developing Sầm singing in the 2019-2022 period project.
I've been singing psalm since I was in 5th grade. I like to sing psalm because in psalm songs, there are human teachings that make me more mature.
Ninh Bình has held many classes in Sầm singing in recent times and taken the traditional art to schools. It also organizes Sầm singing contests throughout the year to promote its popularity.
Our club brings together young members from the hometown of late artisan Ha Thi Ko and neighboring districts in Ninh Bình and nearby. The club gives members a venue to satisfy their passion, with the aim of preserving the traditional art.
The clubs have sown the seeds for Sầm singing to go all over Vietnam, and affirm among international friends that Vietnam has an old culture with traditional arts.
Activities in teaching and performing for tourists allows Sầm singing to be effectively preserved and promoted in Ninh Bình, contributing to Vietnam's proposal that UNESCO recognize it as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in need of urgent protection.